You're listening to Eagles post-game analysis here at the Philadelphia Sports Table Podcast Show, the longest-running weekly Philly sports podcast show in the world. The Philadelphia Eagles losing in the wild card round to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 23-19. We've seen many of the same themes that we have seen throughout this season in general. I was going to say the latter part of the season or halfway, the last half of the season, but we saw the same crap in this game as the Eagles are now booted from the playoffs. I'm Jeff Warren here with my buddy Len Hunsicker. We always get into our themes and then we do grades here, Len. Where do you want to start, man? I mean, what a disappointment to the end of this season, but where do you want to start in terms of themes?
I mean, you alluded to it. I mean, it's the same shit every week where, they just, at some point in the game, they spend an entire half on offense being colder than Antarctica.
Yeah.
And then friggin' I mutter the same thing to myself every single week when I watch these guys. Third and long again, third and long again, third and long again. This offense spent half their season in third and long. And
yes. Yep.
you can't win that way. You can't make any kind of championship run that way. And I say the same goddamn thing every week when I watch this team this year. It's just third and long. Like, it's never a surprise.
And how about go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know what anybody expected that has watched this team all the season. I said it to you before we jumped on here. Whether this happened tonight or next week, or if they were lucky enough to make it to the NFC Championship game, this is always going to happen because this is who this team has been all year long.
I think we held out hope. I think a lot of us held out hope. I think a lot within Eagles Nation thought to themselves, with the talent on this team, getting right in the playoffs, it's ridiculous to even think that, because if you're not right before the playoffs, right, exactly. Right.
That's not something that happens. Like, no, you don't just go, oh, we've been goofing around all year. Now here's the magic playbook that, we've saved just for the playoffs. That's not how it works.
It's just, we saw the same stuff.
Yeah.
And we saw something else too in this game too that I want to get to offensively as well, but we saw the same shit with play calling. We saw the same shit with the same fucking play design constantly, the baffling decisions, and we also saw A.J. Brown not coming through. A.J. Brown missing catches that he probably would make if it was in the regular season.
That one in the fourth quarter, it hit him right in the hands, and that is, I like A.J. Brown. I have defended A.J. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
People kind of, diva wide receiver, all that stuff. But if you're going to bitch about wanting the ball, you have to make that. That wasn't like the one to Devontae Smith later, where he clearly had to go up and, that would have been a tough catch to make. This was in stride, hit him in the hands. You have to make that catch as an NFL wide receiver, especially an elite NFL wide receiver. There's literally no excuse. You have to make that catch.
I'm not blaming the entire game on A.J. Brown. I'm not blaming the entire offense. I just want to be clear out there, folks.
That play was damning.
Yeah, he's definitely culpable in this loss, for sure. Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But something else, too. Another theme, Len, and damn it, we see it. I saw it all the time. It's like 2nd and 20 because of some shitty penalty that happens, right? Or 2nd and long, 2nd and 15, 2nd and 18. And they're running the ball. That right there goes to play calling and play design too. The type of runs too, extending the play to the outside when it hasn't been working throughout the game. All year. Yes.
All year.
It's amazing on 2nd and 20. It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would expect as a fan of this team, from what we saw, and I think with I'll say this, the positive direction that this front office and momentum that they've had over these years, this team is the defending Super Bowl champions. They won't be after the Super Bowl, of course, because they are out of the playoffs, but Kevin Patullo has to be gone.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would think he is going to be released at some point.
There's no universe in which you can bring him back. I know he's
Um,
Sirianni's boy. I know he is, but you know what? When you're the head man, you got to do things you don't like sometimes.
yeah.
You got to get rid of one of your buddies. It's got to be done because he has sucked all year.
Yep.
Not it wasn't a bad stretch. It wasn't, oh, we took a while to find our footing. It has been all year.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question because it's something I've thought about a lot over the past couple weeks here, especially towards the latter part of the regular season. Why wasn't Kevin Patullo let go of his offensive responsibilities, like fired or just let go or demoted? Like, I wonder if this front office, I wonder if the coaching staff in general with Sirianni was like, we saw what happened back in 2023 when we let people go, and then it was a complete collapse those last 6 games of the season. And I wonder if that played a part in their brains of, okay, things are not good here. Things are not good, but we are still winning games. The defense is keeping us in these games. If we completely strip this offense of what it has known, it could be another 2023. Like, I've been wondering if that's the reason why they didn't pull the plug on Kevin Patullo earlier this season.
It would make sense as a reason.
Yeah.
That would at least that would be logic that I guess I could follow. But again, you're not going to magically. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen all of a sudden just because it's the playoffs now. Like if it hasn't happened all year, so it's a fatalistic thing. Either you fear that, oh, if I do this, everything's going to unravel, or you're going to stick with this guy who has given you nothing all year long.
Yeah.
And you're going to get nothing. And that's what they got. So maybe it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But there's no universe in which this Kevin Patullo offense was going to start, cranking out big numbers.
Absolutely.
It was never going to happen.
I just find it so incredible that the Eagles' very first drive of the game, fantastic play calling, fantastic play design. I mean, I actually was thinking to myself, I got to give credit where it's due to Kevin Patullo in that moment. Yeah. Also, incredible call on the goal line with that sweep to Dallas Goedert for the touchdown. Incredible. And then there's just nothing. It's just vanilla shit right after that.
I don't know if maybe it's a thing where he does something. Okay, the opposing defense, adjusts or counter punches.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't have a counter to that counter. I think I don't think that he's capable of that, of coming up with the counter to the counter.
Yeah.
I don't think that is a tool that's in his coaching toolbox. I don't think it's there because, and then it stops, then it stops working. And then it's like, you see this offense freeze up and it's just like, okay, we're going to go super conservative.
Yeah.
We're going to do 2 yards in a cloud of dust with Saquon again.
That is a great phrase. Freeze up. That is a great phrase. Freeze up, because after the half, they go 3 straight 3 and outs. And I mean, we know that, this is who they've been all season. Yeah. No team did it more than the Philadelphia Eagles with more 3 and outs, especially right after the half. I mean, and after Quinyon Mitchell had 2 interceptions in this game, they got 3 points off of those interceptions. And after a second interception, 3 plays for -9 yards.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what winning teams, not winning. I mean, the Eagles were a winning team this year, so I'm not trying to talk about them like they're the Browns or something, but that's what championship teams do. Is, oh, you make a mistake, we're going to make you pay through the nose for that. And the Eagles did not do that. So
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in the first half, Eagles rushing, Saquon Barkley had 15 carries for 71 yards. Tank Bigsby had 3 carries for 20 yards. At that point, I'm like, 91 yards in the first half. I'm like, can they do it in the second half? Like, that's what I just kept saying. That's what I was actually saying to my wife. Can they actually do it in the second half? Nope, not at all.
And that's the frustrating thing. Like, I know, okay, the Eagles were without Lane Johnson again, but you lost to a 49ers team that was banged up. Yeah. And not only were they banged up coming into the game, they lost their all-pro tight end during the game.
Yeah.
And you lose to that. Yes. I mean, it's pretty damning. The way when you have a team come in and they're banged up, and you let that happen, there's nothing, there's no excuse there.
Absolutely. And another aspect of this, a weakness of the 49ers. Something that was interesting for me was looking at the way that the 49ers coaching staff, they were managing the clock, because we know this is a Kyle Shanahan thing. It's a narrative with him. Shanahan burned a timeout right before the half, and then he trotted out the field goal unit when they probably needed a touchdown before the half. At that point in the game, you're thinking, what the heck is going on here? And with that weak Niners defense, especially against the run with Kittle out, like you just mentioned, the Niners needed to take advantage of that red zone trip. I mean, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other folks' opinion. And it went to show how game management still has been a big issue for Kyle Shanahan, even in this game. And the Eagles still could not capitalize on that, especially coming out of the second half with the ball and then subsequently going 3 straight 3-and-outs. Like, it's just, man, it's the same themes here, frustrating over and over. And I've got like a ton of notes, and I don't even know if they're really relevant at this point, because the loss is the loss. Reed Blankenship completely screwing up his coverage on that trick play in the fourth quarter where Juwan Jennings threw that touchdown to Christian McCaffrey. I mean, what a play that was. But man, like, Reed Blankenship, he usually doesn't screw up. He really doesn't. And we saw certain guys just screwing up time, over and over. Like, offensive line, once again, another theme that we have talked about. I've talked about it with our friend Josh Schuster, who's filled in for you and Eric on these post-game shows. There's always one offensive lineman missing an assignment. Always. Every run play. Always. It's that's
coaching.
Yeah. There you go.
So it's either Stoutland, who we've revered for years as an offensive line coach, which I doubt, or it's Patullo, whose offense we've been complaining about all season long. And I think we all know where we're all going with that one. And a question I wanted to ask you, I don't know that this is something that, I usually believe in, or if it's something you kind of picked up on maybe during the game, but it just felt like, from a vibe standpoint, the 49ers players were loose. They were woofing it up. They were talking shit all throughout the game. And the kind of Eagles felt maybe more reserved, more tentative, more like waiting for something to go wrong. Whereas I feel like the 49ers players were like just playing free and easy and playing with house money.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, this situation they were in was kind of like gravy for them this season, based on how their season has gone, with Brock Purdy being injured as many weeks as he was, and having Mac Jones having to keep the offense on his shoulders. You mentioned just the slew of injuries they had coming into this game. They had an incredibly weak defensive line, and the fact that the Eagles offensive line couldn't do anything in the second half was amazing. The vibes that you mentioned were so incredibly prevalent. Like, they didn't have a chip. Eagles didn't have a chip on their shoulder at all in this game.
No, not at all. And I'm normally one of those people where, like, I think vibes are overrated. And if you have talent, talent should outweigh vibes, especially if you're playing a team that's banged up. It should outweigh vibes. And in this game, it didn't. Like, it just felt like it was just two different attitudes coming out of the tunnel. And it's just, and that's the thing, like, as an Eagles fan, I go through every playoff game just like thinking, the worst is happening. And
I know.
And so there was a point in the first half where I'm like, okay, I have this doom and gloom feeling because of the vibes, but that's just me as an Eagles fan watching them play in the playoffs. It's what I always do.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. It never shook free of that.
Len, I, in all honesty, I think there is something to be said for what you just mentioned with the vibes thing. But I'm wondering if you need to turn yourself around on this, because if you remember back in 2017, I mean, the vibes for the Eagles in the postseason before the very first Super Bowl, those were fucking high vibes. Like, those vibes with the dog masks and just, I mean, those vibes were incredible. And we saw what that team did. In my opinion, a probably lesser talented team than the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl that year. Yeah. I mean, we saw what happened there. We see what happens with the vibes here. What were the vibes going into the Super Bowl last year? Chiefs and Eagles. I mean, I thought the vibes with the Eagles were incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that at hindsight being 2020. There is something to be said for what you just said about the vibes in this game. I think you need to turn yourself around on the vibes. They mean a lot,
think
man.
that
Put them on the
just think
scale.
that
They mean a lot.
as a team, you should be able to look around and go, all right, but things, I get that this other team's coming out hot, but
Yeah.
we got Jalen Hurts, we got Saquon Barkley, we got Devontae Smith, we got AJ Brown, we got Jalen Carter, we got all these guys.
Yep.
How are we gonna like turtle up and let this other team be so confident when we have all this talent here?
Yeah.
It shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how, as an organization, you allow yourself to get backed into that.
Yeah.
And the Eagles did.
They did. And you know what? We should be celebrating something offensively. We should be celebrating something offensively in this game because Saquon Barkley passed Wilbert Montgomery and Brian Westbrook for the most rushing yards in Eagles postseason history. When Barkley hit the 100-yard mark, he became the all-time rushing leader in the playoffs for the Eagles. I mean, he had 499 yards coming in for his postseason rushing. Brian Westbrook held the record at 591 yards. It took him 11 games from 2002 to 2009. Barkley did it in fucking 5 games. We should be celebrating that, but guess what? It's going to be a forgotten
I was going to say, that's cool and all, but I'm sure if you ask Saquon Barkley about that
going
right
to give a
now,
shit. Yeah.
He's not going to give the first shit.
Nope. And neither will us fans either.
No, nor should we.
No. All right. Well, buddy, I don't know. Do you want to get into any other themes before we take a break and then get to the grading here? I just like I said, I have a bunch of notes, but I'm not even going to really go through them because this just sucks.
I don't know if you want to get into stats or grades or what.
We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do some grades. I would say, why don't we go to a break and then we come back, get to the grades, and that's where we'll go through some of the stats then.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to take a break here. Let me get this ticker off here at the bottom. And when we come back, we're going to grade this Eagles team by unit. Stick with us. All right, we're back, and we're going to grade this Eagles loss here by unit. And again, lose to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 23-19. Again, an anemic Eagles offense that only scored 6 points in the second half. So if we go through the quarterback, running back, the offense, let's do the offense first here. Quarterback here. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 35, 168 yards. He only averaged 4.8 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown. He was only sacked once, but he ended with a rating of 79.2. Not one of Jalen Hurts' finest games by any stretch of the imagination. I really don't think he was put in the best situations. He certainly missed some wide open guys. Smitty over the middle consistently missed him throughout the game. I'm going to give Jalen Hurts a B- this week. What do you give him here?
Yeah, I mean, some of that you can tack onto the play calling, but he was missing guys high, he was missing guys low. I don't think it was a good performance by him at all. I'm going to go straight up C.
C. Okay. All right. Let's move to the running back position with Saquon Barkley, 26 carries for 106 yards. Tank Bigsby, 4 carries for 19 yards. Look, the running backs are only as good as their offensive line, and the offensive line, we're going to get to them in just a bit here, but I got to give them credit. What do they have here? 125 yards on the day.
Between
not
the
terrible.
backs,
yeah, not terrible. I'm going to give them a B+. What do you give the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could be talked up into a B+. I'm just going to go B. Because
that's fair.
I'm just down in general. But I mean, they were. I mean, if you're looking at people to assign blame to in this game, running backs, I think, are down near the bottom of that.
Absolutely.
List.
Let's get to the receiving here. Devontae Smith targeted 11 times, came down with 8 balls for 70 yards. Dallas Goedert targeted 6 times, came down with 4 balls for 33 yards and a touchdown. You also had AJ Brown targeted 7 times, only came down with 3 balls for 25 yards. And when you're looking at what the average per reception was here, Devontae Smith averaged 8.8 yards per reception. Goddard, 8.3 yards per reception. A.J. Brown, 8.3 yards per reception. Not good. Not good enough in terms of getting the ball down the field.
It feels like there's no faith in the deep ball with
Yeah.
this team. And I don't know how much of that, because you saw it, I think, a little bit maybe with the kicking as well. Maybe I mean it was windy. So I don't know if maybe the weather, obviously a windy day will perhaps have an effect on the deep ball and maybe therefore your confidence in throwing the deep ball.
Yeah.
But it just feels like this offense doesn't try to stretch the field
Well,
enough.
exactly what you're talking about. No explosive plays.
Yeah.
None
Yep.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something to really take away from this game as well, in terms of the theme that we didn't get to before the break, but that is definitely a theme. No explosive plays, and not too many explosive plays this year in general by this team. So I'm going to give the receivers here after reading off those stats, Len. Look, we talked about AJ Brown missing some catches. Devontae missed a couple catches as well. I'm gonna give this crew a B- this week. What do you give them? Could be a C
Yeah,
plus, C plus maybe.
I think B minus is a pretty fair grade. I mean, Smith, had a decent game. Dallas Goddard, maybe they should have tried to involve him more. 7 targets,
Yeah.
maybe he should have gotten more than that. Especially if you're afraid to go down the field.
Yep.
Maybe utilize him a little bit more. AJ Brown, not a good game at all. Darius Cooper I know, 1 catch for 9 yards, but I mean, pretty costly, I think, interference, call on a big play.
Yep.
I mean, we
Yep.
can get into the officiating if you want to, but
No.
yeah, but yeah, just not the best day. I think B minus is being generous, but I guess I'll
Okay.
do that.
All right. Like I said, even like C plus. I mean, that's
Yeah, I could be talking to that
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. And officiating, no. It's on something our buddy Josh Schuster says. I'm not going to blame the officials for the Eagles losing games. And you know what? No, I'm not going
Yeah,
to blame the officials.
and
for
not when
losing.
they've done it this. If this was like, all right, if the Eagles had been a high flying offense all year long,
Yeah.
and this game was this game, perhaps you could say, oh, there were some bad calls there were some ticky tack calls there, but this has been the Eagles all year long,
All
so
year.
you
Yeah.
can't
Yes.
blame the officials for
Exactly. Exactly. All right, offensive line. Boy, it's always a tale of two aspects of this line. Pass protection, pretty damn good today. Pretty damn good. Run blocking,
that. Yeah,
horrendous. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him a C plus. I'm gonna give him a C plus. Could be a B minus, maybe B minus for this offensive line. What do you grade them?
I'll go C plus, and I think maybe I'm letting them off a little easy. I
Okay.
just okay, you didn't have Lane Johnson. I'd really hoped he would be back for this game, but that it is what it is. I guess he had swelling after trying the foot.
Practice. Yep.
But I don't know. It feels like just all year, like Steen. I don't know.
Camp Jurgens.
Yeah, Jurgens
How do you make the Pro Bowl, by the way?
didn't have a great game today.
Jeez.
Definitely. I mean, maybe they missed Mekhi Becton more than I thought they would. I don't know, but
maybe. Yep.
yeah, the line isn't the line from last year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And I think perhaps too, and I think during the offseason when there's going to be a lot of analysis of it, Len, I think we're going to see, because I've seen it after games as well, that this offensive line is being asked to do certain things that don't necessarily make sense. I saw Landon Dickerson, okay, not blocking anybody and somebody getting through in the A gap somehow, and he just not realizing it. This is Landon Dickerson, one of the best left guards in the entire league, and he's looking like a dope out there, like he has no idea what's going on. And this is a guy who is a Pro Bowl left guard. You can't tell me that there's play design issues going on here where these guys, even after 19 weeks, are like, okay, I don't necessarily know if I should be blocking this guy where I need to be in terms of my gap protection. It's amazing to me. So anyway, all right, let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive line, I was quite frankly disappointed with. Brock Purdy was sacked once in this game. Len only hit twice, only 2 quarterback hits in this game, only 3 tackles for a loss. A bit disappointed with the amount of pressure that the defense didn't actually get, because we know with Brock Purdy, once he is disrupted in terms of his progressions, he makes mistakes, and we certainly saw that with the one with the one Quinyon Mitchell interception. We saw that for sure. And we didn't get a lot of pressure, just a lot of just four guys rushing Purdy. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it really didn't. So I'm going to give the defensive line this week a B, just a straight up B. What do you give them?
You're giving the defensive line a B.
Yeah. Actually,
Really?
you know what? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. Yeah. Actually, you know what? They're actually going to get a C- from me now that I'm thinking about it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, C-.
And look, I know, like,
Yeah.
Purdy, he's not a complete statue. He can make some sneaky plays with his legs every now and then. He certainly did that a time or two in this game. But you gotta, he's the kind of quarterback you have to hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him and get in his head and make him make mistakes. And the Eagles did not do that one iota in this game. I mean, like you said, the stats: 1 sack by Jalen Carter, 2 quarterback hits all game, and that's it. And that's not going to get it done. D for disappointment for me.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Flat out D.
I think I was thinking, for some reason, about the linebackers, because I'm going to give the linebackers a B. I think they played rather, decently in this game, as they have been playing throughout the season. I wish Vic Fangio had have blitzed more.
Yes. I think, and not to step on your toes there.
No.
I think the linebackers were maybe more not noticeable than anything, but I think a lot of that is due to I'll agree with you there. And I love Vic Fangio, but his defensive scheming, I don't think he utilized them enough.
We are constantly giving Vic Fangio A grades and A+ grades on these post-game shows. It's going to be interesting to see what we give him, because I'm telling you right now, mine is not going to be anywhere near the A category this week at all.
I mean, and especially like you said, okay, rushing 4 linemen, throw a blitz in there. I mean, more often than you did. I mean, they did here and there, but it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't
not enough, clearly.
Yeah. You know what? C- for the defensive line for me. And again, linebackers, I'm going to give them a B. What do you give them?
B-. I mean, they were hands down, for good or bad, they're the least noticeable group on the entire defense to me.
Yep. All right, moving to the secondary. God, so up and down in this game. But my grade right now is strictly about the amount of explosive plays that kept the 49ers in this game. Demarcus Robinson.
They made him look like a friggin' all-pro.
Exactly. Juwan Jennings had a 45-yarder, just one catch for 45 freaking yards. Christian McCaffrey had that 29-yarder. He ended up having 2 receiving touchdowns in this game. I'm going to be giving this secondary a C-, and that is with Quinyon Mitchell having 2 interceptions in this game. They're getting a C-. Yeah. They're going to get a C- from me. What do you give them?
I'm going to agree with that grade. I could be talked down to a D+, but I mean, and maybe part of that is the fact that Purdy had time to do what he wanted to do. Did not have a ton of pressure. I think Cooper DeJean had a good game. After the first series, I think Quinyon Mitchell had a strong game. That first series, he got beat by Robinson bad
twice,
61-yarder, and then he got beat in the end zone. So I mean, it did happen. But after that, he recovered nicely. So I thought he had a good game after that. But as a whole, the secondary, I mean, I can't fully blame them for it, because again, the line gave them nothing to work with. But C- for me.
All right, let's move to some coaching and each unit itself. Special teams, Britton Covey, boy, he had a nice 31-yard return in the first quarter. I mean, I'm glad they brought him back to do return duties as well. Just kickoff and punt tackling was absolutely exceptional during this game. It really was. In general, Braden Mann, he had a 58-yard punt, for God's sake, to start the second half, after the Eagles offense couldn't do anything, pin the Niners back at their, I believe, the 5-yard line. Yes, Jake Elliott missed an extra point, but made everything else that he was called on to do. I'm actually going to give special teams a B+ this week. What do you give them?
Yeah, I'm glad this wasn't like a 1-point loss, so we would be, sitting there thinking
Yeah.
about that missed extra point.
Yeah.
And I was, I had that thought after that missed extra point. My first thought was, oh, this is going to be one of those games where neither team can trust the kicking game
Right.
because the wind is just going to be completely out of control. It turned out to not be the case. Uh, LA went 2 for 2 for field goals.
Yep.
San Francisco's kicker made the only field goal he attempted. And he missed an extra point as well.
Yep.
But all in all, I agree with everything you said about special teams. They were, again, kind of, if the running backs were the least of the problems, the special teams was the next least of the problems.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'll go B plus there.
B plus also. All right. Well, let's move to the defense. Vic Fangio. I'm not sure if we've given or if I have given Vic Fangio all season this grade, but based on everything we said with regard to the defensive line and specifically the secondary, the lack of enough of a blitz, in my opinion, I'm giving Vic Fangio a straight up C in this game. What do you give him?
I mean, it's hard because 23 points isn't a lot of points, right? That it's not like San Francisco came in here and hung 33 on them or something like that.
Right.
23 is not an outlandish number of points. You should be able to score more than 23 points at home.
That is true. Yep.
So I can't put all of it, but yeah, lackluster. Again, we're gonna, I think, remember this game as like that he should have blitzed more. It wasn't aggressive enough in my mind defensively. I'll go C minus.
I do wonder too how tired the guys were. You know what I mean? In the second quarter of the defense. I mean, you're professional football players, but still, when the offense is doing nothing,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like as things continue to happen in the game and your offense is consistently going 3 and out, that is something to consider. And since we're on the subject, if you look at the game though, time of possession, Eagles 35 minutes and 39 seconds.
There you go.
San Francisco only 24 minutes and 21 seconds. So it's not like the Niners played ground and pound and held the ball for 40 minutes of the game. That didn't happen.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, let's talk, not talk about, but just mention real quick from a penalty perspective, the Eagles had 7 penalties in this game for 48 yards to the 49ers 1 penalty for 15 yards. That's 7 penalties. Unacceptable. Completely
unacceptable. And I'm not gonna, be the Eagles fan that does sour grapes with the refs and all. There were a couple that it was like, really, you're gonna call that?
Yeah.
But that's not why the Eagles lost this game.
Exactly.
They lost this game of their own accord.
In terms of yards per play, the 49ers 6.2 yards per play, Eagles 4.3 yards per play. Whoever wins yards per play usually wins the game. So, Nick Sirianni, Kevin Patullo, hopefully the last grade that I ever give Kevin Patullo. I'm going to give them a D. Going to give him a D for the offense and the way that it performed. Honestly, I don't care about the first half. I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? It's like I care, but I don't care. It was great to see that opening drive and what the team was able to do. Great play calling, great play design. Then it went nowhere, as it does every week. Hopefully Kevin Patullo, this will be his last game, and he's getting a D from me as well as Nick Sirianni. So what do you give him?
Well, I gave the defensive line a D for disappointment. I am going to give the offensive play calling an F for fired because that's what Kevin Patullo should be. I'm not saying Sirianni because you are going to hear people say that, and they are clinically insane. When you look at Nick Sirianni's track record. But Kevin Patullo, on the other hand, yes, fired. If you want to look at game stats again that just jump off the page at me, third down efficiency 5 for 16. The reason they're 5 for 16 is because it's not 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10. 90% of the time with this team, and that honestly. If I don't even know if I've made this comment already, I feel like I have at one point, but if the Eagles do a team video for this season, it should be entitled 3rd and Long because that is their season.
It is. That's the theme of this season. What a great way to sum it up, Len.
Yeah.
Boy, we're going to have you on these Eagles post-game shows more in the future, huh? You did the last one. Yeah.
I did it.
Yay, good boy. Oh, shit, folks. That's it. Last Eagles postgame show of the 2025-2026 season. Now in the books here. The Philadelphia Eagles lose to the San Francisco 49ers in the wild card round by a score of 23-19. Buddy, let's head out here. You got any final thoughts before we let this garbage sink in and let this Eagles offseason start here?
Yeah, all right. So yeah, we're please God, we're gonna fire Patullo. If you are one of the fire Sirianni people, now that the season is officially in the books, I'm gonna leave you with the following statistics.
Okay.
5 years of Sirianni, you made the playoffs 100% of the time.
Yes.
You've gone to the Super Bowl 40% of the time.
Yes.
You've won a Super Bowl 20% of the time.
Yes.
If you ask anybody, they will take that. So just if you're on the fire Sirianni bandwagon, please keep those numbers in mind.
I love it. What are your thoughts? Leave us a comment if you're watching on YouTube. Leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. What do you think about what Len just said? What do you think about the defensive line, the offensive line, where this Eagles team heads during this offseason? And if you're listening to us, you can always email us, philadelphiasportstable@gmail.com. We read your email on the show and respond to it. It's going to do it for us, everybody. You all take care. We'll have our regular content this coming week. Table talk show, getting to our opposition territory pod, but not doing our Eagles pregame shows for sure. We're going to have a great
Don't
regular
need to do
show.
that.
Nope, don't need to do that anymore. So, all right, folks, you all take care. We'll catch you next time.